Sources in and around the Michigan football program have indicated to me for a number of days through the weekend that Jim Harbaugh is actively having discussions with friends of his in the coaching community, agent community, about who the right guy to come on and be his first full agent as his 8th season at Michigan is coming to an end, to help him out with future negotiations. So most people want to speculate, well, there might be a big contract renegotiation coming up with Michigan after back-to-back college football playoff appearances, but there also is the conversation out there from the NFL side, the Peter Schrager's and the Adam Schefter's of the world, that the NFL will come calling again in some regard once the NFL season is over. Right around the time the college football playoff is, it's kind of a week later the NFL season ends, so expect that to be a hot topic the second Michigan season is over. So sources indicating that Jim Harbaugh looking to hire an agent for future negotiations. We'll kind of tell you what we know and who some names are, if there's some of the bigger names around the agent game with coaches, guys like Jimmy Sexton, if those are names of Jim Harbaugh's having conversations with. So keep an eye on this story in the days and weeks to come, as we are now 19 days away from Michigan TCU in the college football playoff. Folks, you're watching the Michigan Football Report, and we are presented by Rowan. Folks, you know dress shirts, they're uncomfortable, they're tight, they're never your size. When you look good, you feel good, and looking good is easy. It's time to feel confident with a wrinkle-free shirt without the hassle. Go to rowan.com/chatsports. Get 20% off your order. That is rowan.com/chatsports. It is the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports, all coming up right now. My top thought today, thinking about what I just told you about the agent, is don't screw this up, Michigan. Ward Manuel, Santa Ono, the Michigan Board of Regents, anybody in and around the Michigan football program, don't overthink it. I think looking back 2 years ago, Ward Manuel and the betting on yourself, the half contract, everything that happened after that disastrous 2020 season, it worked, right? Jim Harbaugh refocused. He figured out who he was. He figured out who his team was. He got the right people around him, and now he's on a 2-year run. Don't screw this up. Don't overthink it. Get Jim Harbaugh the big long-term deal. Make it tough for him to ever leave to an NFL job, and reward him as one of the top 2, 3, 4 coaches in all of college football. Guys, we are at 24,308 subscribers. We are pushing towards 25,000, which is a huge milestone here on YouTube. So we need 692 more of you guys to subscribe to the channel. So if you haven't yet, now's your time. If you like what you see today, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's free. Or if you like the show and you haven't yet helped us grow by one order of magnitude there, go ahead and send the link youtube.com/Michigan TV to a Wolverine friend. Say subscribe to the channel. Let's see how fast we can get to 25,000 subscribers. All right, on today's show, we are going to talk about big-time transfer portal news and rumors. So I've got an update on a few players and some new names that have kind of emerged over the past 4 or 5 days. Now, going back to the Jim Harbaugh topic, I don't know from you guys. Go down into the comments. Give me a Y or an N. Just comment one of those letters. Should Michigan give Harbaugh a mega deal? I'm talking about something like Brian Kelly got at LSU, James Franklin got at Penn State, Nick Saban seemingly had forever. Of course, Mel Tucker, the worst deal in history. $10 million, $11 million for 8-9 years. Let me know what you guys think. Y or N. Should Michigan give Jim Harbaugh a mega deal? If you didn't see earlier today, the AP All-American teams were announced, and I actually am proud of Blake Corum, first team. Olu Oluwatimi, not the first team center, despite being the best interior lineman in all of college football. And Jake Moody, multiple-time All-American. He gets named second team All-American kicker. Folks, I think it's pretty ridiculous that Michigan might have the best defense in college football. I think the most dominant defense down the second half of the season for sure. And the best offensive line in maybe program history. How could be the best offensive lineman in Big Ten history? Yet you can't get a guy like Zach Zinter or others, a second-team All-American, third-team All-American. I think it's a major oversight by the people who select this AP All-American team not to have another offensive lineman, at least the second team, at least the third team, and certainly not a single Michigan football defender. Mike Morris, Mozzie Smith, I could go on and on. Big oversight by them. I think Michigan had a few players get snubbed from the All-American teams. All right, guys, we are going to talk Michigan's transfer portal targets. So you're going to want to take a look at this show. We've got some names, got some updates that could really kind of start to heat up here now that signing day is, 9 days away. I think Michigan's going to have to make some moves in the transfer portal before they figure out how big their class can be. But did want to tell you about today's sponsor. It is Roan. Folks, I can't stand wearing dress shirts. Sometimes you got to iron them left and right. They always have wrinkles. They're always kind of, bunching out of your pants. Not the same thing with Roan, folks. I love the Roan dress shirts. Take a look at this one here. I'm wearing the commuter shirt. I can wear this to the office, can go get drinks with my friends afterwards, get a little happy hour drink. Hell, I can wear it tomorrow morning or Saturday, go out and spend some time on the golf course. Mobility is everything, and Roan's comfortable four-way stretch fabric provides breathability and flexibility that leaves you free to enjoy what life throws your way, from your commute to your 18 holes of golf. Looking good is easy. Time to feel confident with wrinkle-free shirt without the hassle. With Roan's wrinkle release technology, wrinkles disappear as you stretch and wear the shirt. It's that easy. I'm wearing the commuter shirt. That's the focus here. I very much recommend, if you've got to wear dress shirts, if you're going to a holiday party, if you want to give a great gift for somebody this holiday season, go check out the commuter shirt for Roan. Can get you through any workday and straight to whatever comes next. Head to roan.com/chatsports, roan.com/chatsports. Use the promo code chatsports. It should auto-populate when you hit that link regardless. But if not, use the promo code chatsports, one word, 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order. Roan.com/chatsports, RHONE.com. Use that promo code chatsports, all one word. It is time to find your corner office comfort. A name that might be familiar with some Michigan football recruiting followers is Tony Grimes. 3 years ago, Michigan made a big push for him, but ultimately didn't end up among his finalists. But they're now heavily pursuing him in the transfer portal. He was a 5-star, one of the top 3 or 4 corners in all of the 2020 recruiting class. Michigan wasn't a finalist. He kind of committed to North Carolina. I thought it was a surprise commit over Ohio State, some other schools in the South. Starting cornerback for North Carolina in 2021 and this season in 2022, although he missed their season finale and then only played 4 snaps in the ACC championship game. Injury for the season finale, no real reason listed in the ACC championship game. Big exodus from North Carolina. They've got 8 defensive backs, either corners or safeties. I think it's like 7 safe corners and 1 safety in the transfer portal, including 3 guys that have eligibility that were starters this year. So it's a really interesting situation. He also started 4 games as a true freshman in 2020. Now, how heavy will Michigan pursue him? We've got to know some more on these guys here. Let's take a look at Michigan's secondary. These are players who have kind of, reached eligibility to leave for the NFL draft if they want to, right? Mike Sanderstill, 4-year player. He has announced he will return in 2023. Makari Page, RJ Moten, they just finished up their 3rd year, not knowing if they're going to return. Now, I don't think either one of these guys is NFL ready by any means, but Page kind of took the job from Moten throughout the back half of the year, so there's a chance maybe one of those guys transfer, although I have not heard anything specifically about them. Gemon Green, could he come back for a 6th year? He could. Will he? We will see. And DJ Turner, probably the best NFL prospect as of right now for the 2023 draft on the board for these guys. So that is what we need to know. If multiple one of those players, especially if Gemon Green and DJ Turner both leave, which I would say is probably more likely than not, I would expect Michigan to even more heavily pursue Tony Grimes and try to secure a commitment from him before December 21st, National Signing Day for high school recruits. All right, more transfer news, rumors, and secondary talk coming up here in a second. But I want to know from you guys, get to know the audience a little better. What year did you become a Michigan football fan? I'm going to say mine is 1991. I specifically remember the Desmond Howard Ohio State game, and I think I remember the Heisman Trophy ceremony. Young kid, but do remember some glimpses of that. So I'm saying 1991. Let me know what you guys think. What year did you become a Michigan football fan? Hell, if you want to add a little color to it, why did you become a Michigan football fan? I think mine was probably like Desmond Heisman Trophy and the Fab Five hit Ann Arbor that same fall of 1991. It was a great time to be a Wolverines fan in multiple sports, but of course as a football fan. All right, skipping back to the secondary, Tony Grimes have 5 guys that got significant playing time that we showed you. Mikey Sainristil, the corners, the safeties. Who didn't we talk about? We didn't talk about Will Johnson. Didn't talk about Rod Moore. Why? Well, because both those guys ended the year as starters. Rod Moore was a starter pretty much the entire year after becoming a starter last year as a true freshman towards the end of the half of the season. But Will Johnson got the same treatment, right? He started, I think, 5 of the last 6 games for Michigan, kind of supplanted Gemon Green after the helmet swinging incidents. And the expectation, obviously, is both those guys come back, right? They have no option to go to the NFL. You have to be there for 3 years in college before the NFL. And I don't think Michigan's the kind of place right now coming off back-to-back Big Ten championships where they're going to lose starters to other programs in the transfer portal. So Michigan's got 7 guys. If they lose more than 1 or 2 of them, won't be Johnson or Rod Moore, then I think you'll see them get more aggressive over the next few weeks. I do think, though, that Michigan and other schools, too, will put pressure on their upperclassmen to make a decision on the NFL draft a lot earlier than they have in years past because the transfer portal is here and because of National Signing Day in December continues to become important. So there's that extra layer of this 45-day transfer portal window that schools, frankly, never had the hassle of dealing with. So we'll see what comes from the 5 players that we just showed you a moment ago, but clearly don't have to worry about Rod Moore or Will Johnson. I'm going to name you probably should know if you pay attention to the Michigan football's opponents. That's Ernest Hausmann, starting linebacker for 7 games as a true freshman from Nebraska. Now, he was only a 3-star coming out of high school, but he already popped his name in the transfer portal. And I would say that, I don't have any inside info on this, but it feels to me there's quite a few freshmen around the country that the local media at different programs think, well, he's just putting his name out there, see if he can get himself an NIL deal, but he's probably going to come back. So I read something like, Hausmann, he'll probably end up just coming back to Nebraska now that we've got a new head coach, but he put his name in the portal last Monday, the first day that you could. 7 starts as a true freshman, 54 tackles, 1 sack. That 1 sack, folks, came against Michigan. He had himself a hell of a game against Michigan with 10 tackles and 1 sack. Now, another situation, like I just alluded to with the cornerbacks, the safeties, etc., how heavy will they go after linebackers? I think Michigan's got to figure out what Michael Barrett's going to do. He's got a 6th year to come back, right? He's been a multiple-year starter, kind of lost his job to Nakai Hill-Green, but Hill-Green was injured, so Barrett got another year starting. Would he be someone who wanted to transfer somebody else for a 6th year? Does he have NFL potential? Maybe. Maybe he'll put some feelers out there, but if he doesn't return, then clearly Michigan's going to go after players like Hausmann a little heavier, but if he does, which I think it'd be best for the program, then some of these guys that we're going to talk about with Hausmann and others in multiple positions are dependent on who Michigan's losing. So this could be a big week for announcements, good or bad, of guys who might head out or potentially stay. Now, if there are guys who are leaving, I would bet that Jim Harbaugh says, well, don't announce that until after the bowl season. But if you're staying, sure, announce right now, and we'll have the ability to use that to recruit or don't recruit players in the transfer portal. But speaking of the transfer portal, let me know what you guys think. Give me a 1-word answer. Just comment good or bad. Make it easy for us to kind of tabulate the votes, what you guys think. Transfer portal, good or bad? Let's just say, not necessarily for college football in general, but for your enjoyment of the sport as a fan, is it good or bad? Comment down below. Name that we mentioned a couple times last week, Fentrell Cypress. He is a second-team All-ACC player with the same discussion from the cornerback. He is right at the top of Michigan's list. I would say if the information I got is true from over the weekend, Michigan's at 3 schools he is strongly looking at to transfer, right? All-ACC, second-team All-ACC player. Now, if Michigan loses Gemon Green and DJ Turner, I think he's right. He'd love to come to Michigan, get a starting job, learn from some better coaching that have put more prospects in the NFL than Virginia has lately. But I don't think that Michigan has the ability to, or these players, Grimes or, of course, Cypress here, would want to come to Michigan if the starters from last year return. So it's all going to kind of come down to who is Michigan getting back when those guys make the decisions on whether or not they have the ability to make a strong push for a all-conference level player like Fentrell Cypress. All right, name you definitely know, Myles Hinton. Brother Chris was a 5-star recruit, came to Michigan for 3 years, but then decided to leave and didn't get drafted. And last I heard, he got cut by the Giants in preseason camp. Haven't really kept up with him since then. But Hinton was a multiple-year starter, just finished up his 3rd year at Stanford, and from what we've read, he's graduated so he could transfer to Michigan, have multiple years of eligibility left. As a grad transfer, 2 years he could play anywhere else. Given the fact he's a grad transfer and be a grad from Stanford, we have no challenges getting into Michigan, accepted into Michigan under the transfer rules. So whether Michigan needs him, is Ryan Hayes, what's going on with some of these players, we're going to find out in the next week or so. If Michigan needs to fill in a 1 or 2 year starter with starting experience in the Pac-12, Myles Hinton, Chris's brother, could be our guy. And then running back. I think running back, for me at least, might be the most important position because Donovan Edwards, we've seen what he can do, but under the Jim Harbaugh offense of the past 2 years of running the ball 38, 43, 50 times per game, there's no running back in the country that can do that all by himself. and Michigan has not shown that C.J. Stokes or any of the other players behind Donovan Edwards are ready for the big time next year to kind of fill in that Blake Corum 2020 role, that Donovan Edwards 2022 role. The guy who's, he is next in line might just be Ray Davis. Now, he's going to be a grad transfer, only 1 year of eligibility, but it could allow Michigan to groom somebody like Cole Cabana, who will be a true freshman next year, to be maybe the man in 2024. So 1,042 rushing yards, only the 10th player in Vanderbilt history to go rush over 1,000 yards. Michigan will be his third school, right? He transferred, back in the original, the old transfer portal rules, and then spent the last 2 seasons at Vanderbilt. Had 9. What was the school? I forget. Look up Ray Davis for me for a second, Jack. Where did he play? I think it was Temple, but I don't want to say that and miss it up. Ray Davis from Vanderbilt, and let me know. He had almost 1,000 yards as a true freshman. That Temple. I was right. Temple. Jack in the air with that. Had 900 and some yards as a true freshman 4 years ago, and then transferred to Vanderbilt. Had didn't really do much as a junior in 2021, but then over 1,000 yards last year. He's in the transfer portal. He's looking to go to a school that can help impact his NFL future. Why not Michigan? But we will see what comes up with him. This is a guy, though. Michigan doesn't have to wait on anybody else, right? There's no 2 or 3 guys they're waiting to see if they're going to leave, stay, etc. Michigan should be going after Ray Davis with everything they have right now, and I expect them to do exactly that. All right, if you have yet not done so, go ahead and follow me on Twitter as I approach 10,000 Twitter followers. It's at James Yoder. I'll have that link down in the comment and in the description. Tomorrow's going to be a great video. Took your mailbag questions. Going to have some news and rumors around Michigan, TCU, J.G. McCarthy, and even Blake Corum's future. So you will definitely want to subscribe to the channel. If I don't see you before then out in the streets of Dallas, I will see you on our Tuesday video. Until then, go Blue.